In today's video, I'm going to break down my step-by-step plan on how to retire early, and especially I'm highlighting at which point am I going to retire. Hello and welcome. My name is Peter B and I welcome you here at My First Million, where we are achieving our financial goals together. So I'm coming from a farmer family, so therefore working hard always has been part of my vision of my life. I have seen it from my parents and from my grandparents. Even my grandfather at 80 years or even more than 80 years old, he still go into the woods nearly on a daily basis in order to prepare some wood for the winter. So when it comes to the FIRE movement, financial independence, retire early, actually the retire early piece is not very important to me, but the financial independent piece is very important to me. So, however, still, as I am going towards financial independence, I will also need to figure out at which point I want to go to retire and how my retirement is going to look like. And here are my plans. So, to me, the question always be, I'm ready to retire when I'm truly financially independent. And for me, truly financial independence is my investment portfolios is able to cover all my costs, but moreover can also provide enough security that if the financial markets are going bad or if my expenses are increasing unexpectedly, I'm still secure and still have enough money. So therefore, the first step is to figure out how much money I need. And for this, I'm using first the 4% rule. The 4% rule is basically telling you that you can withdraw 4% of your investment account every year and most likely you will never run out of money. However, even withdrawing 4% from a stock market portfolio, there's still a risk that even though a slight risk that you might be running out of money. So for me, I know 4% won't be enough. So how much will be enough? So first of all, I will factor in an additional maybe 30% on my living costs. So I will add 30% for any unexpected situations to my living cost. So in order to cover this, I need to have 30% more than the 4% rule is suggesting in my retirement account. So this gives me some additional safety. But as we all know, the markets are going through cycles, through up cycles and down cycles. So therefore, I'm maybe also not just retiring with 4%. I will be retiring at a lower rate than 4%. Currently, I have in mind 2%, but depending on my age and situation, maybe I will also consider 3% or around 3%. So if you're retiring at a market peak at 2%, the market could be dropping 50% and you're still at the 4% rule level. Another option is the markets are dropping significantly, but my investment account is still covering 3%. So this means the markets are probably currently not significantly overvalued anymore. So therefore maybe 3% would also be a very safe bet. So whether or not I'm retiring with 2% or 3% also has to do with timing the market. Now you can say, okay, 2% or 4%, this is a huge difference. This is basically a double. You need 2 times more in your investment portfolio in order to retire with 2%. However, to me actually this is not a big issue. As said, I'm coming from a family that is used to work and therefore my mindset is at least I should be working until regular retirement age, and everything earlier than that is a nice achievement. Let's say I have 4% now and I'm not able to put in any additional savings to my retirement account. How much additional time am I losing because I'm continuously working. My estimation would be probably around 10 years. I guess that I should be achieving around 7% rate of return from the stock market in a well-diversified portfolio. So this means my investment portfolio should be doubling around every 10 years or so. So it would add an additional 10 years. But this only happens if I don't put any additional savings into the retirement account. So let's say I'm ready to retire at 45 under the 4% rule. So I'm probably going to work until 55. So these are my expectations. But again, if I follow these expectations, I have huge buffers. I have buffer on the expense side, but I also have buffer on the side of my investment portfolio. So in worst situation, I can still retire earlier than that and do some adjustments accordingly. And now let's go to my plan, step by step. How am I planning to retire? I think for me, if my health conditions allows me to do so, the goal is that my wife can retire first, that she can take more rest and maybe take more care of the children and spend more time on her own hobbies. So having 2 kids, I can say, if 2 people are working full time or only 1 people working full time, is a huge difference on the amount of pressure that you have on you. So if one of the person will stay at home and can take care more on the household, on the kids side, maybe on the administrative side, this will be a huge relief also for the one who is continuously working. So if my wife can retire early, that will be also already a huge decrease in my own personal workload and the pressure that I'm having to do better in life. So then as a next step, if I feel like my pressure at work is getting too high, but actually I already have more or less enough in order to retire, I would probably just downsize my work engagement. So downsizing meaning instead of 100%, 40 hours per week, maybe I'll cut it down. Maybe I will try to find a position where I can work 80 or even 60%, where I can have 1 or 2 days additional free time. Or I will shift to my career towards a job that is less stressful, where I'm not expecting to be an outperformer and maybe not expected to work overtime and have maybe less pressure, but then accordingly will get paid less. So that's probably also good. So then in these situations, maybe I'm not able to save money anymore, but I can use my earnings to cover all the expenses of my family and at the same time let my investment portfolio continue to compound until the amount is enough for retirement. So then last step, once I achieve my financial goals for 2% rule, for my own personal 2% rule, will I retire? I'm not sure yet. It really depends on that situation. Again, it's a bit hard to think of retirement when you are coming from a family that is the living embodiment of working hard throughout your life. However, I also see a lot of benefits of having much more time on my own. I am a person who easily can cut interest of many different things and build up many different hobbies and spend my time meaningfully in different areas, not just inside work. So therefore, I can see myself as a possibility to retire early. But that's not a requirement for my life, as long as my health allows me to do so. So what are your retirement plans? How much do you need to retire? And moreover, are you planning to retire early or you plan to retire at a regular age? Please share with us in the comments below. Thanks a lot for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you in the next video, and especially I look forward to seeing you winning financially.